The suburban Hallmark Christmas. This is the Christmas you see in commercials and movies. Inflatable Santas on the lawn, white lights wrapped perfectly around the house, a wreath on every door, the smell of pine and cinnamon candles fighting for dominance inside the living room. This Christmas is about presentation. It's not just celebration, it's performance. Neighbors quietly compete over whose house looks more festive while pretending they don't care. The tree is coordinated. The gifts are wrapped in matching paper. The family photo is taken from the exact same angle every year. Psychologically, this version of Christmas is about stability and signaling normalcy. It says, we're doing fine. Even when people aren't. Even when credit cards are maxed out. Even when the marriage is dying. This Christmas exists to reassure everyone, including the people living in the house, that life is on track. It's not celebration. It's proof of survival, dressed as joy. The Broke Christmas. This one doesn't show up in ads. It's smaller, quieter, sometimes painful. The tree might be artificial and 10 years old, or skipped entirely. Gifts are practical, delayed, or symbolic. I'll get you something later. Becomes part of the ritual. Kids learn early that Santa has a budget. This Christmas is heavy with mental math. Groceries versus gifts. Gas versus decorations, rent versus anything festive. People still try, because Christmas pressure in America is relentless, but the joy is mixed with stress, guilt, and comparison. Psychologically, this Christmas carries shame it shouldn't. People internalize struggle as personal failure, even though millions are in the same position. The culture punishes you for being poor, even on the one day that's supposed to be about generosity. This version isn't about excess. It's about survival, dressed up as celebration. The Rich Christmas. This is not louder, it's quieter. Real trees delivered and installed by someone else. Fewer gifts, but each one costs more than most people's rent. Ski trips, Aspen, Tahoe, Park City, European villas. Christmas happens somewhere else, somewhere you have to fly to. This Christmas isn't about Santa. It's about experience and control. And taste. There's no stress about money, only about which reservation to make and whether the help can work that week. Psychologically, this Christmas reflects insulation. Problems exist, but not urgent ones, not survival ones. The holidays become a lifestyle aesthetic rather than a financial event. It's not better, just different. And completely invisible unless you're inside it. These people don't post on Facebook. They don't need to. The Religious Christmas. This is the original framework. Church services, nativity scenes, hymns that actually mean something, midnight mass, Christmas Eve holding more weight than Christmas Day. For many families, Christmas isn't about gifts at all. It's about meaning, structure, ritual, a yearly reset of belief. The birth of Christ isn't background noise. It's the whole point. Psychologically, this version provides grounding. In a chaotic country, religion offers order. It gives Christmas rules, expectations, purpose, a reason beyond spending. This Christmas doesn't compete with consumerism, it coexists with it, sometimes uneasily, sometimes with visible tension. But for those inside it, this is the only version that feels real. Everything else is decoration. The Immigrant Christmas. This one is hybrid by necessity. Tamales next to gingerbread, curry next to ham. Lechon next to turkey. Decorations borrowed from a culture still being learned. Christmas music in 2 languages. Traditions colliding in the kitchen. This Christmas is about adaptation. Families keep pieces of their original traditions while participating just enough in American ones to belong, to fit, to show they understand how things work here now. Psychologically, it's a balancing act between preservation and assimilation. Christmas becomes less about religion or money and more about arrival. Proof that you're part of the country now. Even if the country doesn't always agree. Even if you still feel foreign at the grocery store. The Lonely Christmas. This is the quietest one. No decorations, or too many, placed carefully to fill space that used to hold people. Christmas movies playing on repeat, because silence is worse. Food ordered instead of cooked, because cooking for one feels pathetic. This Christmas happens to people who moved, lost someone, divorced, aged out of family traditions, or simply don't fit anywhere anymore. The ones who scroll through everyone else's family photos and feel the weight of absence. Psychologically, it's not always sad, but it's reflective. Time slows down. Absence becomes louder than any carol. Christmas becomes a mirror instead of a party, and mirrors are brutal during the holidays. The anti-Christmas Christmas. This is rebellion disguised as indifference. No tree, no gifts, no cheer, no participation, maybe a trip to avoid it entirely, maybe work, maybe intentional avoidance of anything remotely festive. This Christmas exists because American culture forces Christmas so aggressively that opting out becomes its own identity, a statement, a middle finger to obligation. Psychologically, it's about control. Rejecting obligation, saying no to nostalgia, spending, family tension, and forced happiness, refusing to perform joy. Ironically, it's still shaped entirely by Christmas, just from the opposite direction. You can't reject something that hard without it defining you anyway. The chaos Christmas. This one happens everywhere, every year. Arguments, travel disasters, overcooked food, burnt ham, passive-aggressive comments from relatives, too much alcohol. Old wounds reopening because everyone is trapped in the same house for 48 hours with nowhere to escape. This Christmas isn't broken, it's honest. Families pretend all year. Christmas forces proximity, and proximity exposes everything. Psychologically, it reveals the truth. Christmas doesn't create family dynamics, it exposes them, under pressure, under expectation, under the weight of pretending everything is fine when it's not. And in America, where families are stretched across states, politics, generations, and conflicting expectations, that exposure is brutal. Christmas becomes a spotlight on every unresolved issue, every resentment, every difference that got ignored the other 364 days. The reality? These aren't separate. They overlap. They shift. The same person can experience 3 different versions across 3 different years. American Christmas isn't one thing. It's 8 things pretending to be one. And every single version is shaped by money, culture, loneliness, and performance. That's what makes it so American.